if you really look back and think, I wonder if instability is as much on the rise as our incapacity to cope with it. One little child who is the king of the house, how does he do when he's out in the universe with nearly 8 billion people? You are going to be little. You will have to struggle to really leave your mark, and it's okay.
My kindergarten teacher told me I'm kind-hearted, I'm good-natured, I am so easy to gel with. And look at my boss. He doesn't think so.
I have a 27-year-old who said he wants to own a yacht by the time he's 30.
Damn.
Financial security is not as much about the bank balance as it is about your mindset. So it's about financial wellness. Financial health is about being content with what you have, and even if you're not content, convince yourself to live within your means.
Welcome to Seeds of Soul. And we are back again with an exciting episode with Dr. Shefali Batra. She is a renowned psychiatrist and author of the famous book called Why Do I Feel So Sad? Today, we are going to discuss with her on a very important topic, mental health for Gen Z. Gen Z is plagued by so many topics like economic instability, job instability, stress, anxiety, which have been exacerbated by the COVID situation. And Dr. Batra has joined us today to throw light on these issues and how we can better handle these situations. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Batra. Thank you so much. It's an early Saturday morning for you, and I profusely thank you for taking time out to join us today.
I couldn't think of a better way to start it.
Lovely. Thank you so much. The feeling is mutual. So, the Gen Z is plagued by many issues. There is the stress, anxiety, economic instability is on the rise, job instability, and we read about that on a daily basis. How can they better handle their stress and just deal with it in a better way?
I like your question. If you really look back and think, I wonder if instability is as much on the rise as our incapacity to cope with it. When we talk about Gen Z, honestly, starting from millennials and then moving on to Gen Z is going to have it the worst, to be honest. But economic instability was always there. I just think that the capacity to cope with it has significantly changed. When you look at the newer generation, they've been given, we very frequently use the word entitled, which I think is wrong, because it's easy to say when someone's unable to cope. You say, hey, they're just entitled, they've had it too easy, so they don't know how to cope with these situations. But I think if you look at the stressors and the stress busters, you see, a stressor would get you stressed, but a stress buster would protect you.
Correct.
Today, we are blaming the generation for not having the capacity to cope with the stress. But to be honest, they are facing way more stressors than the previous generations. And the primary reason for the economic hardship that they're facing is the inflation, is the difficulty, I believe, in getting jobs because of our rising population. And we as older individuals might think that the jobs are paying them more, but there's also higher rents, there's more student loans, there's more of debt that they're facing, which is actually doubling the trouble. So I don't think we should just look at the millennial or the Gen Z and think that they aren't coping. It's more on the lines of, do they have the skills and tools to cope? Have we empowered them to cope? I believe that training, that learning is missing. So somewhere, something has to change so that they are better equipped with the tools that they need to cope with these changes.
That's a very interesting take, Dr. Batra. So would you say that The responsibility lies with the parenting style. Does it lie with the education system, the socio-political
Socio-political system.
landscape? Where should the change even begin?
You know, to make it a little more systematized and organized, I would say there is, when you want to change, there is a political will, which is a much higher up will. Then there is a social will, which is your environment and the way you've believed that the social situation impacts you and you impact them. And then comes the individual will. So I wouldn't only put it on the parents that, have you taught your kids how to, there are a lot of parents today, especially the generation, we are of the age of parents of the Gen Z, right? So the one aspect I see in a lot of parenting, you've heard of the word helicopter parenting, where the parents are buzzing around.
I think there was वो काजोल की मूवी आई थी ना, हेलीकॉप्टर पेरेंटिंग पे.
हाँ बिल्कुल. तो पहले कहा जाता था हेलीकॉप्टर पेरेंट्स आर encroaching on their kids' privacy and too involved. ऐसे करो, it's time to succeed. You can't be less than the best. Today we're having actually a little bit of the reverse. We call it bulldozer parenting. So
that is a term that I'm hearing for the first
time.
Yeah,
it's a very infrequently used term. Helicoptering is I'm going to buzz around you to see to it that you succeed, and then the millennial or the Gen Z gets a little upset that please leave me be. In bulldozer parenting, the parents are paving the way a little too clean for their kids. I've noticed it. I see a lot of teenagers, I see a lot of parenting issues. तो primarily जब लोग आते हैं तो कहते हैं मेरा बच्चा करता नहीं है तो मैं ही कर लेती हूँ, उसकी कैपेसिटी इतनी नहीं है तो मैं किसी से करवा लूँगी. The tendency to want to win is so high that parents are getting into the rat race more than the children. So with this kind of bulldozer parenting, you're making it, we blame the kids for being entitled, but we are the ones to be blamed for not stopping breastfeeding till a very, very late age. I don't know what better word to put it. Spoon feeding एक अलग बात होती थी. आजकल तो पेरेंट्स टीनेज तक ब्रेस्ट फीड कर रहे हैं. हर चीज़ जो रेडी मिलती है बच्चों को, तो कैसे सीखेंगे कि वी हैव टू डू समथिंग ऑन आवर ओन. एंड उनको जब हम दुनिया में फेंक देते हैं, वी लिटरली थ्रोइंग देम आउट इन द यूनिवर्स. गो अर्न फॉर योर सेल्फ, गो फेंड फॉर योर सेल्फ. हाउ आर दे गोइंग टू बी एम्पावर्ड विद दोज स्किल्स? सडनली दे जस्ट डोंट नो व्हाट टू डू. जब बचपन में कुछ चाहिए होता था तो डैड को बोलो बस मिल जाएगा. और आज जब अपने आप से करना है तो दे आर नॉट यूज्ड टू द मॉडरेट लाइफस्टाइल. वी've all grown up. I mean, I believe most of us, at least all my friends, people of my generation, we've tried hard. We've seen the degree of stepwise growth that you see in us. I wonder, can the new generation get that stepwise growth? Because they are already so up there, I believe. They're already, because we've given them that when we could. That being said, of course, there are many strata of population.
Yeah, but,
everyone's not so entitled, but there's somewhere the parenting role in inculcating those values and skills. I'm not sure if that has really happened, because we want our kids to have the best that we didn't have.
Correct.
And in that, we kind of get blinded by that love, and we
don't know where to draw the line.
Money, becomes, there are so many parents who don't have time because they're so busy earning money for the kids. So they say, I can't give you my time, but I can give you the money.
Correct.
So I want you to have the best. I want you to go to the best places to eat. I want you to have the best parties. And then when that child is just 23 years old and out of college and wanting to have his first job, and he suddenly says, but I can't afford this lifestyle
on my
on my own salary.
Correct.
And this is the age where we're seeing more children living with their parents for longer.
Correct.
We would think that kids are trying to move out, but today more kids live with their parents because they cannot afford to move out.
No, because I think they're habituated to that lifestyle.
Correct, and they're not going to get it on their own.
And on their starter salary, I think they cannot afford that.
It's very tough.
पहली बात है. But actually, you and I are millennials, right? So.
Kind of, I'm a little pre-millennial. Millennial is 82 to 2004. So yeah, I am 5 years pre-millennial, but I'd rather be called a little more of a millennial, correct?
Yeah, okay. So we'll take it
The
from
thinking.
there. So you and I are millennials. So I think that my parents gave me a lot of freedom to be as is, to choose my career path. So that kind of freedom, you think, is much compromised in current times. Your parents are actually telling you step by step, this is the kind of career you must choose, or they are trying to offer that kind of comfort and cushioning and use their existing
Bulldozing.
yeah, using their network to get them their jobs. तो उसमें क्या होता है कि मैंने बहुत देखा है कि जो लोग आते भी हैं, when they come from these privileged background and they are starting off work, तो उनको ऐसा लगता है कि they have a very hard time to adjust to authority.
Absolutely, you said it. I see a lot of people from the age of 25 to 35.
Correct.
I mean, not breaking confidentiality, but I'll give you the example of a 28-year-old.
We would love to hear that, yes.
Who, I'm seeing her on a weekly basis, and the primary complaint was that my HR manager is not nice to me. I
Yeah.
said, what happened? He said, my performance isn't adequate. I said, but was the person disrespectful? Was there any sexual connotation? Was there any discrimination? No. So I said, what part was wrong? He didn't like my work. He said I wasn't good enough. I said, did you think that you did your best? Did you put in your utmost, and objectively, would you think that you were
This
perfect?
was your best, yes.
She said no.
Hmm.
I said, no, I'm just a little confused. In what way was the manager wrong?
Hmm.
She said, no, I mean, he was right, but I just didn't want to be told that I'm not good enough.
I don't like the tone in which you're talking to
I'm not
me.
even sure if it was the tone. It could have been an email, but how can someone tell me I'm not good enough? My parents, in
Oh.
every little race, when I was even 2 to 3 years old, I used to beat my dad in the race, which we do, right? If a
Correct.
parent is having a race with a child, how many parents overtake the child? Everybody
Yeah.
says, yay, the little kid won. That's what I
Yay, you
mean
won.
by bulldozing. And when you're not used to ever being lesser than the best, which you believe, we don't know the reality. The universe is very big. I mean, though the entire earth is a pale blue dot, still that little pale blue dot is massive. So, one little child who is the king of the house, how does he do when he's out in the universe with nearly 8 billion people? You are going to be little. You will have to struggle to really leave your mark, and it's okay. We need to place more effort on the effort rather than the outcome. But we've placed so much impact on the outcome. That is why we get somebody to write our child's essays. We don't say, hey, you do your best, we'll see what comes out of it. And if you don't get a good score, you will do better. But we don't want to give that chance. No, right now the kid has to have the best. And so this kid gets a job in a Google or in an Apple, but then they come to me saying that the manager is not good. I'm going to complain about him because he didn't like my performance. I just did not get that appraisal. But did someone else get a better appraisal? How can everybody get a promotion? I mean, it's the same way in the Olympics. Everyone doesn't get a gold. The best player wins. But do we know how to strive to be the best? We want to be the best. But do we have the patience, the endurance? The impulsivity today is massive. Why am I not getting a promotion? Why am I not getting, so many likes on my Instagram? Why am I not getting likes on my dating app? What is wrong with me? So we've grown, our kids, especially the Gen Z, when you look at them, they're not ready, I feel, for any kind of rejection. I think the golden thing that we teach our kids is it's okay if you're not always the best. You strive to be the best. You see, expectations should be on the effort, not on the outcome. The mother should tell the child that I expect you to put in your best, not that I expect you to get the top rank. Because then the pressures and the resultant frustration makes it very important for the child that I have to win. But for instance, I also always wanted to win. I also wanted every gold medal and every rank and med school, and it was a tough time, but I mean, I did it, but I did it with a bit of stress. Nobody else ever told me or that they expect this of me. I mean, the only time people ask me, like, has your mom ever been upset with you? I had to hide from my mom and study. She used to get upset with me because I used to study all the time. So it was like, it was quite the reverse. People are like, wait, are you sure? Like, my mom used to get upset with me because I had to study. So I would be studying till 6 a.m. in the morning, and then my mom would wake up and she'd say, why are you awake? I'd say, hey, I just got up early today. Like, I had to lie. It's just when it's internal, your motivation, then I don't think anything can come in the way. When it's
Correct.
external, that's when frustration comes. Because then you did not meet your goal that someone else set for you and you internalized. But if you really set your goal yourself, you will be kind to yourself.
Okay.
That
So that
kindness
brings me to the
matters.
next question of instant gratification, which seems to
I
be
love
driving.
talking about that. Have you
Yeah.
heard of the term PIG? I mean, you said it.
PIG.
You just said IG, but
Yeah.
we call it the pig. It is the problem of immediate gratification. It's a documented term.
Oh,
And
really?
that's why I love talking about it. I talk to everyone about it today because
So I would just, instant gratification, I think has been made worse in the recent times, especially with the advent of social media, having screens on the phone, easy accessibility. So if a child cries, you will see it in restaurants. For example,
give the phone,
give a
the
phone,
iPad.
so that I can just be
There is a
at peace.
restaurant iPad.
Yeah, so I can just be at peace and I can just enjoy my meal and probably have a conversation with the person that I've come to have an adult
Exactly.
conversation, right? The thing is that in today's time, earlier from where we had a joint family setup, it is truly said that it takes a village to raise a child. Now, because the nuclear families are on the rise, you have the entire responsibility of parenting actually fall singularly on the woman. Mostly
Moderately,
In
yes.
Okay,
All agreed,
that
yes.
would kind of take us on a different
No.
tangent.
I do agree. I do
Okay, so
agree.
but having said that, parenting, anything that is a mother basically does the heavy lifting. Okay, let me just rephrase.
Heavy weights, yes.
Okay, mother is doing the heavy lifting. So from where we were doing parenting as a village, okay, today we are
As an individual.
as an individualized approach to parenting. You need certain external stimulators to probably aid you in the
Correct.
huge task that is parenting. So, the child has probably learned from a young age that, if I cry for something,
I'm going to
I'll
get
be
it.
immediately given
I will
that.
be given, yes.
Yes,
That's
I'll be
where-
immediately given. So, do you think that, what you explained, this
instant
this
gratification.
girl is going into job and she's wanting instant gratification. So actually this coding starts from there, from at
Absolutely.
that toddler age.
The wiring, as you said, coding and wiring are the very right words. It's literally becoming part of our DNA to get what we want and get it immediately. So the mantra of PIG, the problem of immediate gratification, is I want what I want and I want it now. And if I don't get it, I will cry about it.
I will throw a tantrum.
I will throw a tantrum, and it doesn't matter if I'm 29 years old. That's the point. Look at relationships. Look at
Yeah.
Gen Z breakups. They are so. One side, we think that they get into speed dating and they
Yeah.
don't want to be committed. But if they do want to be, they're not able to deal with that rejection. It's because of instant gratification. Immediate gratification, instant gratification. It's that I want what I want and I want it now. And there's no way that I should not get what I want. So like I said, they've not learned how to cope with failure. I'm not calling them failures. I'm using failing as a verb here. That it's okay to fail sometimes, and my magic mantra is it's okay to not be okay. That it's okay to not have everybody love you. Like, if
And
you-
it's okay to not be happy all the time.
Absolutely. What you just mentioned, these are the 12 original irrational beliefs of Albert Ellis. I don't know if you've heard of Albert Ellis. He's a cognitive theorist, very, very well known. And even my recent book is like a mantra for cognitive behavior therapy. It has a lot of Albert Ellis's ideas. So we live and often die with these 12 irrational beliefs, and they sound very rational. So they are the 12 core irrational beliefs, and one of them is I should be happy at all times. Now, why should we not be
As
happy?
if it is a God-given right.
It's a birthright.
Yeah.
So people should like me. Now, it's not such an irrational belief if you think about it. Like, people should like you, you know. I'm nice, people should like me.
Yeah, I'm
Another
so
belief.
soft-spoken. I got the
Exactly.
my kindergarten teacher told me I'm kind-hearted, I'm good-natured,
And now
I'm
what
so easy to
happened?
gel with. And look at my boss.
He doesn't think
He
so.
doesn't think so. And
But that's where the wiring, and we live and we grow, and like I said, sometimes we die. I mean, I just feel we should learn this in this one lifetime, to not live by our irrational expectations, because they come in a very masqueraded form. They look very rational. I should be happy at all times. I should get what I want. People should be happy with me. If I am nice to people, people should be nice to me. Even that is irrational, because people come from their own space, people come from their own mindset, people come from their own upbringing. But if I'm nice to him, nobody's been nice to him, so he probably won't be nice to you. Or maybe your boss is having a bad day, so he won't be nice to you.
correct.
I'm not saying it's legitimate and it's always the right thing to happen, but think in alternates. Then you will not deem that gratification. I wanted to reach here on time, I got traffic. What are you going to do about it? You can't be upset, because things will often not be in your hands. So that desire for control, you know, I need to be in control at all times, and that is where my gratification need stems from. Just release a little bit of that control. It may not always go your way, but that does not mean it is awful. So there comes black and white thinking, that if it's not all amazing, then it's all awful.
Correct.
And if it's a little not
And it is
okay,
binary in thought
that's
process.
what that's called polarized thinking, or black. It's either black or white, but life exists in the million shades of gray between the black and white. So if you know how to live in those shades of gray, you will never really be upset. And you know, emotions also exist on a spectrum. Like, I'm a little concerned versus a little upset versus a little worried versus apprehensive versus anxious versus panicking. But our youngsters go from 0 to 100 like they're riding a Ferrari. You know, we're still the bullock cart kind. We just go slow and steady, even in our stress. Let me think about it. Let me deal with it. But the youngsters, oh my God, this is the end of the world. What is the end of the world? My manager said that my performance is not good. And then the checklist, was he rude? No. Was he mean? No. Did he get personal? No. Did he bring up a personal example? No. The sexual connotation? No. Discrimination? No. So what was wrong? No, I don't want anyone to tell me that I'm not good. You know, that is where the problem lies.
So I am surprised to hear that this, in this case, okay, just kind of still evaluating it on a very superficial level. This patient of yours, she came to you with a problem that this is a stress. This is a stressor for me, right?
Correct, correct.
So, I think that, we are truly in a polarized world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
The
our
black and
parents
white.
actually taught us the art of expressing gratitude. Okay. So, to always say a thank you, a please, and, learning to understand social hierarchies. Correct.
Correct.
So, I think, is that a very deep disconnect from reality? I mean, the parents are not doing that. They are not teaching.
I think the exposure to the real world should start well in advance.
तो डॉक्टर बत्रा, यहाँ पे सबको अब्रॉड जाने का बड़ा शौक है, बोथ ट्रैवलिंग के लिए और पढ़ाई करने के लिए. उसके चक्कर में हो जाते हैं स्टूडेंट लोन डेट्स, राइट, और उसका हो जाता है खूब सारा स्ट्रेस. तो जेनजी को इस स्ट्रेस के साथ भी बहुत डील करना पड़ता है. सो आपका उसके बारे में क्या ख्याल है?
You know, बहुत अहम सवाल है. इट्स जितने भी बच्चे देखो आजकल, वो जब दे कम टू मी करियर गाइडेंस के लिए, एप्टीट्यूड टेस्टिंग के लिए, तो उनका यही है, वे कैन आई गो अब्रॉड टू स्टडी. यू नो, वो इम्प्रेशन जो हमारे दिमाग में बन गया है कि इंडिया में नहीं पढ़ाई करनी है, यू नो,
इंडिया में इतनी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ नहीं हैं.
they feel so. Actually, India is the growing opportunity country. I wouldn't say opportunities nahi hai. In fact, many people, but they just say bahar padhai karke we want to come back. So, ये बहुत ही अहम सवाल पूछा आपने, क्योंकि जितने भी बच्चे मेरे पास आते हैं फॉर करियर गाइडेंस, स्टैंडर्ड क्वेश्चन, वेयर कैन आई गो अब्रॉड एंड विच कंट्री एंड वेयर वुड इट बी गुड, ये बात ज़रूर पूछेंगे कि मज़ा भी कहाँ आएगा, क्योंकि ये उम्र भी है मज़ा करने की. यू वांट टू ट्रैवल, बट इमेजिन इफ यू कुड डू एवरीथिंग ऑल एट वंस, सो दैट वुड बी great. And I do see kids responsible enough, and some of them even know that बहुत महंगा है, how will I manage it. Sometimes when your parents have the money, but that's literally 1 to 2% of the population, so majority of the people cannot really afford going abroad, and
Correct.
a lot of them don't even afford education in India. But the point here is definitely student loan और debt तो बढ़ेगा, but थोड़ा reasonable, थोड़ा rational होना चाहिए. पहली बात, कभी कभी हम गलत कोर्स चूज़ कर लेते हैं एंड फिर बाद में कहते हैं नहीं, दिस इज़ नॉट व्हाट आई रियली वांट टू डू इन लाइफ, तो फिर वो वेस्ट हो जाता है एंड यू आर नॉट मोनेटाइजिंग ऑन योर एफर्ट. कितने इंजीनियर्स को जानती हूँ जो बाद में कह रहे हैं मुझे साइकोलॉजिस्ट बनना था. आई सेड बट दैट्स सो कॉन्ट्रास्टिंग. तो यू शुड नो व्हाट यू वांट, should have a little career path, a little plan well in advance. लोगों से बातें करो. जिस करियर में तुम्हें जाना है पहले उन लोगों से मिलो. अगर जर्नलिज्म करना है तो डू एन इंटर्नशिप विद समबडी. अगर मेंटल हेल्थ करना है तो साइकाइट्रिस्ट या साइकोलॉजिस्ट के साथ इंटर्नशिप कर लो. सर्जन बनना है देन ट्राई टू टॉक टू अ सर्जन अंकल और सम फ्रेंड. आई थिंक किड्स डोंट नो व्हाट दे वांट. वो कहा सुना देख के रॉन्ग चॉइसेस में चले जाते हैं, ज़्यादा पैसे खर्च हो जाते हैं. स्पेंडिंग इज़ फाइन, कमा लेंगे अगर हार्ड वर्क करें लेटर, लेकिन जब हम गलत करियर चुनते हैं तो उसमें ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम हो रही है आज. एंड मोटिवेशन नहीं होती, फिर काम नहीं होता. आई नो सो मेनी पीपल हु डोंट लाइक द करियर्स दैट दे आर इन, बट दे आर स्टक. जैसे स्टूडेंट लोन पे करना है तो सोचो कितना स्ट्रेस, एंग्जाइटी, डिप्रेशन बढ़ रहा है. सो वी नीड टू चेंज दैट.
करेक्ट, आई एग्री विद यू. तो स्टूडेंट लोन से नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन मेरा रहेगा अबाउट फाइनेंशियल इंडिपेंडेंस. आजकल की जनरेशन में बिकॉज हम इतनी कंज्यूमरिस्ट सोसाइटी हैं, हम हमको सबको फाइनेंशियल इंडिपेंडेंस चाहिए अपने पेरेंट्स से, सोसाइटी से. उसके चक्कर में ऑब्वियसली डेटिंग एप्स वगैरह बहुत इंक्रीज़ हो गए हैं. बट मेरा सवाल है कि आजकल फाइनेंशियल इंडिपेंडेंस के चलते लोगों को स्ट्रेस बहुत जल्दी हो रहा है, बिकॉज दे हैव अ बेंचमार्क कि 30 तक तो मुझे इतना अचीव कर लेना चाहिए, 40 तक तो मेरे पास मर्सिडीज, बंगला और
I have to cut you here. I have a 27-year-old who said he wants to own a yacht by the time he's 30. आपने कहा Mercedes at the age of 40, people want to own yachts and jumbo jets by the time they are 50. I wish your dream comes true and I wish you stay in touch with me ताकि मैं भी आ जाऊँ तुम्हारी yacht और jumbo jet में. But look at the pressure that puts on you.
And this is a self-induced pressure.
मेरी 18-year-old says मैं 18 की हो गई, अब मैं adult हो गई. Now she was from a really low middle class and back BCom किया था, and she was working as a secretary in an office, and मतलब BCom के path पे थी. She turned 18 when she was 12th standard, and she said I am supposed to independently support my family. I said but you're 18. She said yeah, I'm an adult, I'm supposed to. That's a cognitive distortion, as I call it. It's very admirable, to be like
To
that.
have such high
अब मैं तो
goals,
डॉक्टर हूँ,
yeah.
हम तो पॉकेट मनी पे जीते थे 30 तक, बिकॉज वी हैड टू कीप स्टडिंग एंड डू योर MBBS and DPM and MD, and it's a different life obviously, but that's depending on the path that you choose, that's totally different. When you're doing surgery, plastic surgery, pocket money till 35, but that's a different story. Talking about the general population and the everyday lives that we're living, it's not so easy to be fully financially independent. I think a lot of people say that when they don't feel the security from their family. They just feel that बात पे पेरेंट्स ने मनी ब्रिंग अप किया है कि वे स्पेंडिंग सो मच ऑन यू, तुम पढ़ाई नहीं कर रहे.
पैसे पेड़ पे नहीं उगते.
एग्जैक्टली, दैट्स अ स्टैंडर्ड डायलॉग, बैकयार्ड में नहीं उगते पेड़ पे. बट that is where I feel one statement like that in childhood, when you shame a child for that, then that sticks in the mind, and then the first thing is I have to make money anyhow. So I don't have to,
क्योंकि मुझे अपनी सेल्फ वर्थ जो है मेरी पैसों के साथ अटैच हो गई
start
है.
picking careers which make fast money. Everybody, not everybody, but so many people today tell me I want to be a YouTuber. अब देखा जाए तो मुझे याद आ रही है एक बच्चा आया था करियर गाइडेंस के लिए, एप्टीट्यूड टेस्टिंग के लिए, बिकॉज आई डू दैट फॉर किड्स एंड गाइड देम, क्योंकि इतनी कन्फ्यूजन होती है करियर काउंसलिंग गाइडेंस. तो टेस्ट तो कर लिए, you know, I'm focusing on the career personality, I'm matching the child's motivations to the different kinds of careers and the acumen, you know, are you more mechanical, are you more social, are you more on the science side and arty side. Ye kid tells me at the end of it, after the entire 2 to 3 hour process, he says, didn't you check if I have the aptitude to become a YouTuber? And that was hilarious. I said, oh my God, YouTuber wasn't in my list of professions. You know, we give a list of professions you might be good at.
I think we need to up the list.
I need to upgrade my awareness of careers of the day, you know, because I felt suddenly so backward that I had missed out a very important career, which matters
Yeah.
today. So that's where our kids are. The problem of immediate gratification. The kid says, I said, you know, very instant reaction, वो भी कोई career होता है? You know, I just said it like, is that even a career? Like, you do it on the side. You know, we make reels and we post and even about our work. Like, you know, we all are on social media. Then he gets his phone out and gets the details about a YouTuber who made these many $1 million at the age of 24. And this is his mansion and this is his football court and this is his car. I want to be like him. Now, agreed that one guy has done it. Agreed that 50 people have done it. Like, I don't think there are millions of people in the world. You know, I know there are social media influencers and I know that it pays and I know that it does not need a real qualification. You don't need an MD in psychiatry to be a social media influencer. You know, I wish I could influence people more about mental health, and that is my target eventually. But the whole point here is, I think this almost become like a delusion. It's a misguided delusion that kids are not aware of, and quick money. You know, another thing, when I ask kids, it's my very opening, you know, remark, what kind of work do you want to do? You know, some people actually say, I want to make a difference, I want to be famous, which is also okay. You know, some careers you never get out there famous, you're just quietly working and all of that. Standard answer, I want to make a lot of money, but I don't want to work hard for it. Doc, do you have a list of those careers? So there again, I have to upgrade my list. That these are the list. मुझे पता होता मैं नहीं कर लेती. Why would I not pick a career which got me money and didn't have to work hard? It's so, well, it's slightly disheartening, but it's also cute the way they so innocently ask you these questions. That I just want to make a lot of money and I don't want to work. And then they expect me to like really guide them on the right path with such hopeful eyes, you know, that she's going to help me out of my quandary. So this is where we are with our kids today. Something has to change.
I think that you have chosen a very hard career path
It
for
is,
themselves.
because people who
for
see
yourself.
me, who see me firstly
As
do
a-
not think
as-
that they want to see me. People who see me don't think that I can really help them. And then the suggestions that I give, Doc, if I've come to you, why are you making me do such hard work? Like, I want it easy. So again,
I want it easy.
how can
That
I be
was-
sad
that is the-
or anxious or worried?
That is the basis of all our
You know,
discussion.
the person says, I want a yacht by the time I'm 30. Doc, help me. I said, I'm sorry, I don't have the money to give you to buy a yacht. And I can guide you and motivate you to work harder. But I would be more suggestive of, be easy on yourself. मतलब yacht नहीं हुई तो क्या हुआ, boat ride पे चले जाओ, you know, just take the little easier way out, you know. By the way, the guy crossed the age of 30 and he said that he doesn't like the idea of yachts anymore. So that's another story.
Good for him.
that mood badal gaya. But I think, I said this earlier, kids don't know what they want. It's so much pressure. This one has a yacht, this one has a jumbo jet, this one has a, you know, this one is has a helicopter.
अर्लियर हम बात कर रहे थे कि जो सोशल मीडिया ने एक्चुअली हमारी लाइफ को एक तरह से इजी भी बना दिया है, हमने एक एवेन्यू दिया है दैट ताकि हम सोशली कनेक्टेड रहें, बट एक्चुअली में एक उसका फ्लिप साइड ये भी है कि उसने हमारे स्ट्रेसेस को भी और बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ा दिया है. करेक्ट. सो अभी क्या है कि सोशल मीडिया पे यू हैव लॉट ऑफ दीज फिन वेल्थ इन्वेस्टर्स, यू नो, एंड हु आर गिविंग एडवाइस कि आप ऐसे इन्वेस्ट कीजिए, यहाँ पे इन्वेस्ट करिए. एंड कि भी मैंने आपने जैसे कि बताया कि 24-25 साल की उम्र में उन्होंने मिलियंस कमा लिए, एंड आप क्या कर रहे हैं अपनी ज़िंदगी के साथ. एंड
वो सनसनी के इस तरह से पूछते भी हैं कि
correct,
आप अपना
correct.
पूरा पोटेंशियल
Are you living up to your potential?
And then the way they make it so dramatic that people
Yeah,
are just drawn to it it's like
एज इफ यू नो कि भाई 24 साल की उम्र में तो आपने अपनी पूरी जिंदगी
नहीं, the
आधी
question
जिंदगी
will
तो
be,
जी
are
ली।
you 25 and you have not achieved all your career dreams? अरे हम तो पढ़ाई कर रहे थे 25 में, but that's what I'm saying. The poor kids, I say poor kids, I mean, my mom had 2 kids when she was 25. So life is so different today that 25-year-olds are lost in the huge sea, not knowing where to swim.
How has this financial, turbulence and this mismatch of reality versus expectations, how has that impacted the dating life of Gen Z? That is a very
A
good
mix
question, I
of
think.
finances and dating. I think the rooting issues are the same everywhere. When you're talking about the problem of immediate gratification, we're seeing that in dating too. That why didn't I get so many likes or so many, requests on my profile? And then we get motivated to do the wrong thing by posting, we morph the photos and photoshopping karenge so that I get more. But eventually you're going to meet the person in reality. People don't realize that you got to live in the real world. The real versus real life, as we call it. The real life is not always real. I don't know if you recall, I've seen a reel of Kate Winslet where she says that you are enough. The opening line is that you are enough. And this is what millennials need to know. It's not the number of people who like me on a post or the Gen Z, I mean, the kids of the millennials almost. But yeah, so there that I am enough despite me not getting those likes. I am enough without my makeup. I am enough without my hairdo, without 14-year-olds doing hair Botox. I'm just saying, hair Botox and coloring and I'm seeing this. When I see a 14-year-old, they want to share with me like a friend. And so suddenly I'll see her hair in 15 colors. And I'm just wondering, where is the focus? Because it's become so important. Self-esteem has been so closely linked to the way you look, the way people acknowledge and appreciate your posts and
वेयरिंग आपके पास
everything.
कौन सा बैग है, कौन से शूज
That's
हैं,
just
कहाँ
what
पे
we
आप
are
ट्रैवल
saying.
कर रहे हो, उसके सबसे बहुत इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है ऑन अ सेल्फ
एंड ये सोशल मीडिया की गलती तो है. अवेयरनेस है कि ऐसे हम मेकअप कर सकते हैं, तो चलो हमने भी मेकअप सीख लिया. मतलब हम कहाँ पार्लर में गई, हमने भी वी लर्न सो मच. आई लर्न अ लॉट from Instagram, from YouTube. I definitely use it for a lot of learning, for my cat care, for even mental wellness tips, positivity. There's just so much. But then when you're addicted to that, to think that I am insufficient because I don't meet that, that is not your standard. Your mission for going on social media needs to be very different. I'd again think kids are misinformed about that, and they're getting too sucked into I need to be like what I see on the reel because I want my reality to be this reel's reality. But this is not even this reel's real reality. The person on that reel does not look like that in real life. Meet them in real life to know. Meet them when they wake up in the morning. But no, you don't have the opportunity to do that. So all you see is the reel. And that defines your reality, which is actually a sham. So youngsters are chasing a sham. The Gen Z needs to realize what is real, what is not.
So, this has truly been insightful, Dr. Batra, and I know that I have actually benefited a lot from this. I just wanted to ask you if there are any parting tips that you would like to share with our Gen Z audience to how to better manage their financial and mental health.
I love the word financial and mental health because actually this is the way I define health. Per the World Health Organization definition, health is a state of complete physical, emotional, financial, occupational, social, and spiritual well-being. Wow. So financial well-being comes as a part of it. And when you talk of money and mind, they're so closely related because the mind is not at ease when money is not sufficient. But one statement, if that can become your mantra, that financial security is not as much about the bank balance as it is about your mindset. So it's about financial wellness. Financial health is about being content with what you have. And even if you're not content, convince yourself to live within your means. Don't live. If you can do that, the lady who works in my house, the cook, everybody goes on a holiday. मी अलीबागला गेली, so excitedly she'll come back from the break. Someone will say I went to Amsterdam and someone will go to Alibag, but they manage it. that is financial health. So I think my big message to the younger generation is, don't expect too much altogether all at once. Do not get the pig, the PIG. Definitely steer yourself clear from that. Take sufficient guidance from professionals as well as your family to know really what you want. Don't come to me and say, I want to be a plastic surgeon because I'll be roaming with the cool Hollywood stars. Do you know you have to study till 35? Oh, no. It's okay. Then I don't want to be a plastic surgeon. I can be the executive assistant of Hollywood star.
Yeah,
this
you
is
want the rewards without the
reward
hard
without
work.
the hard work. So be more clear about what you want. And then, as I said, the mantra should be that I need to feel secure, not about what's in my bank, but what's in my mind. Because if my mind is controlled and my mind is positive, I'll be able to achieve anything. I'll probably be able to achieve even more than what I set out with. So that
Correct.
will take them to wherever they want to be.
Absolutely. So, on that note, Dr. Shefali Batra, I really thank you for taking time out and joining us on Seeds of Soul. Thank you so much. And yes, I look to see you soon.